Once again, my friends, hello. It's your boy Bunny 3000. You are back with me in the place to be. Let me see if I can get some of this lighting in the right space. Y'all can see Bunny's pretty face. Oh, Bunny's rhyming. Oh, shoot. Stop the press. Who was that? Bunny on the microphone. Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is your boy Bunny 3000. This is the Geekswagg podcast, and we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. Thank you guys for joining me. I'm hoping that the rest of the crew is gonna get here pretty soon. I know Helmato said he's definitely gonna be late, so we are going to try to keep things going while the rest of the crew gets their act together, and while this little thing decides to not really do what it's supposed to do. Goodness graciousness. I'm trying to see if I can get a little bit of gameplay here for you guys. I've been doing a little bit of playing a few games, some Ark, some what was the name of that other game? You know what? I'm going to go out on a limb and actually show you some of the Dear God, since I didn't really show you Dear God last time. But I do have some Dear God to kind of share with you guys. I've got a bit more Metal Gear Solid. I actually have some more of what was the name of that game? Metal Gear Solid and some 20XX that I'm going to share with you guys here as well. I know that the network is kind of going crazy right now, so some of you guys on Twitch might be having a slight issue seeing us. The video is going a little bit bonkers right now. Hopefully the network kind of clears up so that that's not an issue, but we will see. So I'm going to start off showing you guys a bit of Dear God here. I'm going to not pause, but I'm going to put that there for you guys. Let you see with that. And I know I did kind of bust that game's chops a bit, but I figured I'd let you guys take a look at it and you know, kind of be able to make your own opinion of this game and how strange of a game the Dear God is. It actually did go on sale. Well, not necessarily on sale, but it did go on Xbox Live. On Xbox Live, Games with Gold, I think it was called. And it was there for free the very first week that the game was available. So, I mean, that's not always an indication of how bad the game is. But, you know, it kind of makes me kind of hesitant anytime a game, you know, comes out and then all of a sudden somebody's already giving it away for free. So we're going to see. I'm going to leave it up there, let you guys take a look at the oddity that is the Dear God here. I'm going to put that right here so that you know what it is. Dear God going bonkers. And I think I see Dirty Helmato in the place to be, so I'm going to try to get him in on the scene. See if we can bring him in here. And there he is. Is it who I think it is? Yes, it is. It's Dirty Helmato in the place to be. Dirty Helmato on the MIC. Can you hear me? Hello?
Hold on, Bonnie. Can't hear you.
It doesn't look like he can hear me. Okay. So we're going to cancel out of his little thing. We're going to give him a call. Hello.
There we no, I had to change my settings.
It's your fault, Mr. IT.
I had to change them. I had it defaulting to something else.
Yes, Dirty Hell Motto's faults.
All day, every day.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back, and of course we've got Dirty Hell Motto in the place to be as usual. Say hello to the people.
Hello, people.
And of course, on the network, they're gonna have a hard time watching this episode. The network is just god awful for some reason. It's dropping frames left and right. I tried switching networks beforehand to see if it would work out, but it did not. So I'm hoping that it just clears up over the course of the thing. But of course, I am recording it for all of our fans who like watching this unlive rather than live, since some of them are probably over there watching Empire. Have you been watching Empire? Did you ever finish watching Empire?
I am almost done with season 1.
So what episode are you at? What's going on?
I am. Have you seen all of season 1? Because I don't want to.
Oh yeah. I'm up to date. I'm good.
When a little after he told the boys that he had ALS.
So okay. Yeah. So now they're going bonkers, and they're like, "Oh my god!"
His girlfriend is flipping out.
Mm-hmm. Or his fiance? Is that his fiance yet?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So she's trying to, she's trying to keep him on lock.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I'm at right now. So I think I got like maybe 3 or 4 more episodes to go.
Okay.
I should be caught up.
So
that's why I'm at Empire.
Okay.
I've been loving it. Good music. You know what I was disappointed with?
What?
I was disappointed with, like, has some really banging songs. Right? So I went on Amazon because I was like, I gotta go get me the CD, right?
Yeah.
And they don't have none of the good songs he got there. I had to YouTube them joints.
Which ones you talking about? Well, I guess that's a real question. Which songs did you feel were good songs that they supposedly didn't have?
The first one he dropped, the one I Don't Need Your Money.
Oh yeah. Well, in the course of the show, he did like a few different versions of that. It was like the version where he's making the song, and then the version where he's performing the song.
Right, I'm talking about the last one when he took it to the NFL when she had it in the club and she was trying to get that NFL do the post.
Oh, okay.
That's the final version, and like I thought that would at least be on there. And I like the other song that he did, the remix that his dad did, the original one when he came out.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That one was tight too, and like.
Hey, Legend Cool Girl. I'm sorry. Hey, Legend Cool Girl. Thanks for joining us. I hope, I'm going to type this in there to see whether or not she can actually understand. I hope the video isn't too choppy. Network is crappy tonight. But yes. The songs, the different versions of the songs that they sing in the show. Timbaland did a good job, and I think
did a fantastic job.
The people that cast that show did an even better job, because it's pretty cool to see that the people, to see that the artist is the actual actor, and that they are the ones actually doing the perform. I mean, they're actually touring. You know what I mean?
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
So I mean, throughout the summer, I've actually seen, like I think they were at Summer Jam. A couple of them were at Summer Jam, and a couple of the concerts they were like opening for other artists in like some of the artists, like I don't want to say like Fetty Wap or anything like that, but maybe like August Alsina, or maybe a Chris Brown show, maybe a Big Sean, like when he's been touring a bit, so they they've been tagging along to artists like that on their tours and stuff. So Yeah, they've been doing actual performances. So the guy who plays Hakeem, that's how they.
Now they had some of his joints on there, which were but like some of the real good songs that I think made the show that people liked that was inside of it, they weren't on the soundtrack, and that was a little disappointing to me. Not to say that the soundtrack music wasn't good, but it's just I think
just the versions.
I was kind of looking forward to it because I was getting hyped, and then when I actually, because Amazon, I got Prime, so they let me play it. It's on their list, so I was like, oh, okay, let me get on this, and then it was just like, oh, it's still good. So I still enjoyed it, but it's the show is very surprising. I like the twists and the turns they have in it, and like Cookie's like my favorite character, man. She's like, oh god.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a lot of people's favorite character. Boo. I mean, the second she starts calling people Boo Boo Kitty and everything, she just keeps cracking on that girlfriend left and right. She does not give her any kind of breaks or anything like that. She goes in on her every chance that she gets. I mean, they go in on each other, but still.
I mean, it's just hilarious.
Yeah, it is. I mean, and I like that as the show has gone along that they found ways to incorporate real artists. Like they had what's her name?
Courtney Love.
Yeah, Courtney Love. They had her in there.
Dude, and her voice really does sound bad.
Yeah, in real life, Courtney Love does look and sound that god awful, unfortunately. So that was a little too true to life. You know what I mean?
I know, like even when she was trying to tell her to step up, and it was supposed to be the better version. I was like, it was still a little bad. So I was just like, this is. I mean, she definitely don't have to go for a stretch to play that role.
Right. Yeah. That was definitely Courtney. I mean, I think that's kind of the way that they kind of write in a lot of the artists. They make certain that the artist doesn't have to stretch themselves. I mean, it's not like they've had that many different artists do the show anyway, or play as someone other than themselves on the show anyway. Gosh, who else did they have on there? They had Mary J on there. They had.
I haven't got to the Mary J. That's probably closer towards the end.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think some of the performances are like they are at a concert or they're doing a performance or something, and they had
just like a quick little cameo.
Right. Yeah, they had Snoop in there for one of them. And a couple. They've had a few others. There weren't a whole lot of them. They had what's old girl that the British singer that John Legend that John Legend brought in under his label, and she's been doing really good. Dark skin girl. She's been making like just poppy kind of hits and stuff like that. She did that song American Boy.
I know who you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I forgot her name though.
Yeah, see, that it pisses me off. There goes another one of those old man moments where I'm gonna have to Google it just to figure out what her name is. Come on, Immortal. You know who I'm talking about, man. Let's see. I'm gonna type this in.
That was a good song because she did a remix with
Kanye.
Was it Kanye? Yeah, it's Kanye.
Yeah.
For some reason, I was thinking about
Estelle. That's the name.
Estelle.
Yeah. Estelle was on the show. But they've had a few good little cameos on there. But yeah, I mean, Terrence Howard has been doing a fantastic job, and of course Taraji P. Henson. Yeah, I mean, they both have great. They have great chemistry together, which kind of helps them. And Immortal is more of a metalhead. Yes. Well, Jason's more of a metalhead too, Immortal, so he can definitely He definitely is in there with you as well, bruh. Not a problem.
Oh yeah, we got a very eclectic group here.
Yeah, definitely. Now that Immortal kind of brings up the topic, can you think of? I mean, what other television shows can you think of that kind of incorporate music? Not necessarily the same way that Empire has, but in a similar way that Empire has. I know
I can't really think of anything recently.
Yeah, I mean, I know there's
except for like Glee, which is like.
Yeah, that's more pop music, but yeah, that's one.
I mean, it's musical, right? I mean, it's just musical.
Yes, it's definitely musical. There's this other show, and I think it's on Cartoon Network called Metalocalypse.
Metalocalypse, yeah.
Yeah. And I honestly, I've never watched more than like 2 episodes of that show, but but I like it. The weird thing is I like the show. It's funny and the music is awesome. And it's hilarious. I actually watched an episode of Kevin, Kevin Pereira, right?
Yeah.
He has his own little Twitch podcast or whatever on this website called supercreative.tv, right? And I think it was him, it was either him or Nerdist. I think it was him that interviewed the guy who makes the music for Metalocalypse.
Okay.
And the Immortal's saying he's got all 3 albums. Yeah, it's got some great music. And he kind of talks about his process and how he makes Metalocalypse and makes the songs and stuff like that. And it's good because it kind of reminds me of like a death metal version of Tenacious D because it's funny.
Yes.
The lyrics to the songs are mad funny and everything. It's just good. It's really, really, really good. But yeah, Metalocalypse. Immortal was saying Hawaii 5-0 actually uses songs from like Pearl Jam. Brendan Small, yes, Immortal, that is the guy. And he said he's the musician behind Death Clock. Yeah. Good looking out, Immortal. Good looking out. But yeah, there's not a whole lot. If you think about it, there's not a whole lot of TV shows out there that really deal or incorporate music a lot in the show. It's kind of interesting to see Empire do as well as it has with stars that are also musicians themselves. I think Brashear Gray and Jussie Smollett.
More of that. I mean, Glee, I think a lot of people watch Glee, and they enjoyed it.
Yes, Glee. Well, I mean, I've never watched it. I mean, I was never really into the show, but
I'm not a big pop person, but my kids were watching it.
Mm-hmm.
And like I actually enjoyed it because they've actually done some really good metal crossover songs. Like they did Mon Michelle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they do all kinds of genres.
I mean, like they did all kinds of stuff. So it was really good. And they got a nice little. A lot of them have a lot of course, it's pop, but they have a nice pop twist to it. And I actually, before it drove me nuts, because there was so much time to tape, I actually made it through the first 2 seasons.
Oh, okay.
So, but most of it, due to my kids, they wanted to watch it, so I sat down and I watched it with them. But it wasn't half bad. It wasn't half bad at all. So that's as far as I got. After that, after they started doing a whole bunch of like wacky stuff, I just you know what, I'm done.
Yeah, Immortal was saying that the best thing about Metalocalypse is that a lot of heavy metal musicians lent their voices not only for spoken scenes but some musical scenes also, like George Fisher from Cannibal Corpse and King Diamond. So yeah, they
I've seen some of the King Diamond stuff, which I love. Probably more of their older stuff. Misfits.
Yeah. I actually went back on to try to see what some of the other hey, what's happening, Farmer Boy John? some of the other guest stars that were on Empire this season. I don't know if you've seen all of them, but Gladys Knight was on there, Anthony Hamilton.
Yeah, the Anthony Hamilton one was pretty good. That was a quick little cameo.
Patti LaBelle was on there. Juicy J was on there. Rita Ora was on there. I can't remember who.
Rita Ora one? I don't know if that came up yet.
Yeah, you might not have seen that one yet, but yeah, I think it's been interesting. The people that they brought on the show. It'll be interesting to see how they pull together and keep things going on this second season, because the way that first season was, in my eyes, they did a decent job of having those WTF moments near the end of the show to keep things going, and it's very rare that you have a show like that.
Even without the the additional musical talent there, just the core cast is pretty good.
Right. I mean, from a strictly storyline basis, the show does kind of what Scandal did, its first few seasons, where every episode it found that little nugget in the storyline to kind of pull you in and say, oh wow, nice little twist, unexpected twist in there. So it'll be interesting to see if they decide to stick with this core cast and not bring in anybody, because in my eyes, shows like this, it seems as if, okay, you've got your core cast that is going to be there throughout the season, but you've got to be able to bring in that one or two people each season that spices things up a bit,
Yes.
And I think Dexter was great like that.
Yes.
Yeah, because Dexter brought in, like, Mos Def was in there for a part of the time. They had what was the other guy we were talking about before? That came in, because in Dexter every season they had one serial killer that Dexter basically spent the whole season chasing after until the end of the season.
Right.
Oh man, what let's see. What was that guy's name? Yes, Jimmy Smits was one. That was a really, really good season. Goodness. They had, what was the guy's name? See, it's gonna get me. I gotta look it up. Immortal was trying to remember Terrence Howard's name. Yes, in Empire. Yeah, it's Terrence Howard. Lucius left foot. No. Let's see, Dexter. Because I kept trying to remember that one season after Jimmy Smith's season, the big guy, what was his name? The Trinity Killer was what was the name of his thing, of his serial killer. I hate that I can't remember his name, because he's one of those actors that is in a whole lot of stuff. John Lithgow, that's his name.
Oh yeah, John Lithgow. Yeah.
Yes, that was an awesome season. There was a season in there that I just finished recently that has Colin Hanks in it. He's been doing some comedy stuff on TV as of late, and he did a great job on his. Let's see, what was the other guy's name? But they, like I said before, I think Empire kind of needs to have that kind of to do that kind of a thing to kind of sustain it, to keep it going.
Right. And I think they will. I mean,
it seems like they will.
Yeah, they seem like they're going in the right direction for a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
their buzz last year was just crazy, and I hope they ride on that through this season.
Right.
Which I think.
Yeah, it seems like there's still, there have been some people that I know that watched the show and they were like, you know what, they don't like the show because they feel like it sensationalizes stereotypes of black people. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people look at it and say, "Oh my gosh, he's a drug dealer," and then he starts a music.
People need to chill with that stuff, man.
You know what I mean?
I'm like, oversensitive people. It's a TV show,
right? I mean, it's
for
fiction.
My enjoyment.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. They're playing. I mean, like we've heard. Dude, Terrence Howard is a pretty smart guy, right?
Very smart guy. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's Tasha, I mean, she's like when you hear her give interviews, you can hear the intelligence by the way they speak. They're playing a character, and for them to be able to get you that mad, they must be doing a good job pulling off the character.
Right.
Okay, so
right.
Chill the F out.
And what it was hilarious when I was watching the show, even before I started watching the show, a part of me was like, yo, this is like the continuation of Hustle and Flow. Yeah. When they started talking about it.
I kind of thought that way because, like, even the background they grew up, like, and here's the thing that most people that probably watch the show don't notice that are younger that make these retarded comments is that, like, that's how it was in the, like, 90s, in the 80s and 90s. Like, people, that's how people grew up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when you watch a lot of their backstory, the way it is, yo, she talked just like, don't she talk like a hip-hop head from out of the 90s?
Heck yeah. That's exactly straight up out of the 90s. Both of them do.
Even the words she used, some of the slang that she used, I was like, oh, snap, I remember that.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, yo, nobody uses that anymore, but it's
exactly, but she uses it very well.
Right. Yeah.
So, like, that's what I mean. And then, like, when you get people that say stuff like that, come on, man. Like, I get it. And, like, if it was a KFC chicken commercial, then I'd probably be like, look, but it's not, man. It's a good show.
Yeah.
And people, they get it.
It's well done. It's right. Yeah, I like it.
So
I enjoy it.
When they do gangster movies and they say, you got really good actors like, Joe Pesci and freaking, what's it, De Niro? What do you think that's being racist too? They're stereotyping them. And, dude,
are they stereotyping Italians? I mean, come on. I don't know. Dude, it's whatever.
They're great actors.
They're great actors. It's a great story. It's intriguing, and they pull it off. So
give you a little insight to an era of American history of people, how they handle things in the United States. Whether it was for good or bad, but they're great stories.
Right. So I mean, if you think about it, I mean, whether we like it or not, this storyline is something that is very close to the music industry, the hip hop music community. There are
some stuff's a little over the top, but
I mean that's the purpose. That's the purpose of a TV show. You take stuff from real life and you sensationalize it. So they can call it stereotypical. It's not necessarily stereotypical because if you go up and down the line for all of the different music labels and stuff that have come out that that black people have started throughout the years, you're not going to look at all the people who have started them and say, oh, they started it with drug money. But you can definitely say
like 50.
Yes.
Hey, you know what? I had to sling this for a little bit to get on.
Exactly. Okay? Yeah.
Did you watch the Biggie movie?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
I didn't want to, but that's what was up.
Right. Exactly. So let me get in here real quick because Makita is killing me right now. She
is she on?
Yeah, she's on, and I didn't see her on. So let me get her in here real quick, ladies and gentlemen. Add to call. And just so that people know, I also threw in a little bit of Dear God in there. Makita, is that you?
Yeah, like how
Okay.
you?
I'm sorry. Me and Jay got all caught up talking about stuff, and I didn't see you on when I first turned it on, so I thought you were
I
gonna
was on
call
this
in.
whole time. You lying?
That you. No, you won't, girl. You a lie. You lie like a rug. What's going on with you?
Nothing much. What y'all talking about? I'm thinking something happened. I'm like, okay, I see we can on. Let me check Twitch and see if they on there. I'm gonna fight them if I see them on there talking.
We gonna fight, girl. Let's go.
I'm telling you. And what y'all talking about? I see you got this booty ass game, Dear God, on here.
Yeah, I figured I'd have to put it. I'd have to put it on there just so people could at least see the bootiness, rather than just listen to what I was talking about, so they can actually make up their own mind. Rather than just take my word for it. Let them see the full bootiness that is there. So yes, we were actually into a bit of a TV talk, talking about a little bit of Empire, and because Jason's almost done with watching season 1, and they just started season 2.
Right,
And
right.
we were kind of saying, they've been doing a decent job of the
I
way
don't
they
want to hear
cast the
anything
show.
because I haven't watched that show and I need to watch it. So don't spoil it for me.
Well, no, we aren't doing spoilers.
We
We were
spoiled it
just
like 10 minutes ago.
yeah, that
So
was
you're okay.
where we basically talked about where in the season he is. But what we were discussing was how good of a job the casting has been for the show, and we were kind of talking about how we hope the casting job going into this second season that they're in now, that they find a way to continue to keep the cast fresh by bringing in new people.
Right.
Because kind of similar to, and I was saying kind of similar to the way they did in Dexter, because they would have, they've got their core ensemble cast, but every season they would have like 1 or 2 new cast members that would be on the show for just a season.
Right.
Just to keep things fresh, just to keep the story, going in a different direction. So it isn't always between just the core cast that you see or that is going to be around, for all the different seasons or whatever. So, but yeah, they've been doing good. We were trying to remember what other TV shows we could think of that incorporate or are centered around music the way Empire is, because you can say, oh, this show it's about the music industry, but the actual cast and the actual show itself doesn't really integrate actual musical performances kind of the way Empire has been doing. And I was trying to remember other TV shows in the past that may have done that kind of thing, and there weren't really that many that we could remember. Aside from, we were talking about Metalocalypse on Cartoon Network, and those, that's of course a cartoon, but all the music in there is all original music that they made for the show, and it's tied into the actual characters in the show. Glee, Jason was talking about how Glee, that whole phenomenon, and how that how that integrates, I guess you could say, covers of a lot of different kinds of music.
Yeah, most of the stuff is covers there. I mean, they were doing 80s, 90s, 2000s.
Yeah.
A lot of good stuff.
And and I was like, outside of those couple of shows recently, I can't really think of too many other shows that kind of do that kind of thing.
I mean, they had a lot of them in the 60s.
Really?
Well, they had the Partridge Family, they had the Monkees.
Oh yeah, you're right.
They had those,
That's right.
Even the Brady Bunch did a little stint where they had
where they would have something like at the end of the show.
Yeah.
That's true.
They had shows. They were doing that.
Yeah. What was that other show? There was another one. Fame. Did Fame have actual performances? I can't remember.
All I remember is a lot of dancing.
Yeah, I remember there was always dancing, there was always music, and somebody, but it wasn't ever someone on the show performing. It was just everybody was on the show, they were all dancing to something. But it wasn't ever like, oh, we've got a guest star so and so performing their hit song, and then the Fame cast is integrating that performance into the show. I don't think it was ever like that. I can't remember. It's been so long that I've seen it, because I think, didn't they try to reboot that show recently?
Yeah, they did. Like in the 90s, I think they tried to get it off again, and nobody wasn't into dancing as much. Having a dance show.
Yeah,
they had a good formula. What they would do is, it was the same thing you're talking about. They would have like people for the season, and then like they'd get like a big dance job, and they would leave. So like the core cast stayed there, and then they would have somebody come and mix it up for the season, and always at the end of the season they would leave because they got some gig or wherever it was. And that was pretty cool. It's kind of the same thing you're talking about.
Yeah. Immortal Joker is hilarious. He said the Scooby-Doo movies had people like Mama Cass and David Cassidy.
They did, though.
They did, though. He's right. He's absolutely right. They did. Oh man, some of the I think about some of the other little
Scooby-Doo had musical acts on it.
Yeah, some of the little cartoon acts back in the day, they had little musical performances. Even though they were cartoon musical performances, they were still guest stars. They had their little musical performances in the show.
You know who's had some too, but not as many? The Simpsons.
Really? It's been a while since I watched The Simpsons, so I can't really say.
They had Smashing Pumpkins. They had U2. They've had Metallica.
That makes sense, yeah.
They probably have a list if you look it up. I mean, of musical guests on their shows.
Yeah. I'm sure they've been on. Did they perform? It was more like, they were just there. Oh, they were performances. Oh, really?
Yeah, there was one. The one that's sticking out in my head is when Homer became a roadie for the Smashing Pumpkins. That was before they did. Yeah, they were at shows doing stuff.
Yeah, South Park had Korn. Immortal Joker said South Park had Korn.
That's another one. Not a lot, but they had a few.
So yeah, I mean, there's some shows that'll do it. Oh, dude, Celebrity Deathmatch. Oh man, I missed that show. That show was off the chain. Yeah, all that had was guest stars and stuff all through that show.
Yeah, but no music.
That's true. It didn't have music. It had musical guests, but they didn't perform. They were just being themselves.
Christina Aguilera and Britney Spears were going at it. They had fighting.
Oh yeah, they tore each other up. That was good.
And then they had Carson Daly and Eminem in the mix. That was fun.
Yeah, Celebrity Deathmatch was awesome. I missed that show. I don't know if they'll ever do something like that again. MTV just isn't into doing stuff like that. That would end up being something more like a new Cartoon Network kind of thing.
I can see them picking it up.
Yeah. Oh man, Celebrity Deathmatch. That takes me back, yo. But yes, musical TV shows. They're out there. Empire's doing its thing. We'll see whether they can keep their magic going. I heard some people say that this so far the second. Well, I mean, they've only had one show so far the second season, but they were kind of not necessarily disappointed, but they were like, they were like, it was mediocre, it was But I suppose each time for most shows that are so into putting that extra twist on every show, kind of like Scandal and Empire, those kind of shows, I guess it is kind of hard to top yourself every single show. So you're always going to have those haters to say, it's not.
Even think the first season, you didn't get all the twists and turns until maybe after like episode 5.
Right. Mm-hmm.
They laid a lot of groundwork, the first couple of episodes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, they did.
You got to give them a little chance. I mean, you can't come out right away and be like, oh my God, Jamal had twin babies in the back. What?
Oh!
It's like, come on, give me a break.
Yeah.
Let them get into it a little bit.
Yeah. And once you guys get caught up, I think it kind of seems as if Marissa Tomei may actually be a regular character this second season. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes along. Just to give you all a little bit of, not necessarily a teaser, but a little bit of a carrot to get you guys going on watching and catching up on Empire. Because me personally, I love Marissa Tomei. She's a great actress, and I think she's got a very, very interesting role this second season. So we'll see how long she stays on the show this season. on how her character, gets into the mix. It's pretty cool. So, yes, we'll take actually right before we'll take a little detour off of the TV shows. Unless, Jason, I know you did want to talk a bit about what was it? Flash and Arrow, because I still haven't had a chance to watch any of Flash and Arrow yet. But I know it's getting going. So there's some people out there. So.
Oh yeah, no, I've been looking at some of the the TV spots for season 2. So that starts next week.
Yep.
The 7th and the 8th, or is it the 6th and the 7th? One of them.
So what's supposed to be like the big deal for these upcoming seasons for both of these? Because I know they're supposed to be introducing some more characters.
Yeah, they're
some new characters.
Some new characters. I've seen Diggle's getting his own. Like they got him with his own costume now.
Which I heard people were clowning.
They were clowning it. It looks all right to me. It doesn't look horrible, but I guess it could be a little better.
Right.
They've got his sister in the mix finally now. So she's taken over a major role as a vigilante, and you've got he's been out of the mix for I don't know how long it's been, but I guess they're probably gonna when season 4 starts, they're gonna tell you how long he's been out of the mix. So obviously he's coming back, because at the end of season 3, spoiler alert,
spoiler alert,
ghosts. Yeah. Not doing this shit no more. I don't want to be an Arrow. I want to be in love. I want to have babies. I want to be Robin Hood. So he took off. So
right.
He's coming back. So he actually in season 4 looks like Green Arrow.
Okay.
Which is pretty cool. So I'm excited about that. So we'll see if he actually. I'd be interested to see if they changed it to Green Arrow instead of just Arrow.
Okay.
Right, and then you got Flash season 2 coming up, which I am stoked about. And let me tell you, the last 3 episodes, I can't spoil it for you guys, of course, but it had to do a lot with the Reverse Flash. And
I heard about that.
And just the way it ended, it was just ridiculous, dude. And it had a lot of, I don't know if you ever read the comic books or the cartoon series. With him in a Reverse Flash, the way he came to be was a lot of time travel stuff. So it's not the same as the comic book, but they incorporated a lot of it within season 1. And it's like the first, I'd probably say the first 3 episodes are kind of like builders. I mean, and what's cool about the Arrow and Flash thing is because they do team ups, right? So before the Flash even started, Arrow had him on there. So you got a little background on him before it even started. Before
the show started, and then all of a sudden, boom!
Right, and they did a couple of team ups during the season, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah, so that's actually a really good idea.
Yeah, so they got that going. I know Canary's coming back on Arrow, and they have crossovers there. So just a lot of good superhero stuff, So I'm excited for that. I hope you guys actually get to watch some of the previous seasons.
Yeah, I'm gonna get into it.
Talking about it, son.
Yeah, I'm gonna get into it. I'm almost done. You know me. I'm almost done with Dexter. After I move off of Dexter, I've dedicated myself to say, okay, I'm gonna jump from Dexter to Arrow, because they finally got Arrow on there. I just saw they put Gotham on Netflix, so I might kind of put that on tandem.
Yeah,
so
I mean, people have been telling me I kind of dropped off Gotham a little bit season 1 because I thought it was lame.
Yeah, that's what I kept hearing. But I heard a lot of people go bonkers over this last episode or something like that.
Yeah, season 2 is off to a good start. So I may try to get on that, and I got to get back on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because I quit watching it.
And you know what? I keep hearing that this new season, that apparently what they're trying to do is they're trying to pull in the Inhumans somehow. And that they're making secret. Well, yeah, they're like bringing in the Inhumans, and that they're incorporating, of course, what is it called? That group, the Secret Warriors, or I can't remember, because you know how there are so many different groups in Marvel or whatever, especially when it has to do with S.H.I.E.L.D. But apparently, secret something is like one of the groups, and apparently they're developing that group because it's like a tandem between shield agents and superpowered agents in a group together. And that's kind of the direction I think they're taking with Agents of Shield. So a lot of people, Secret Warriors, yeah, Mortal Joker, yeah, said that. So it'll be interesting to see, because Sky, he was saying, yes, Sky is Quake now. She finally has her powers and she's doing her thing. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how far they take it, considering that they're going to have, the whole Inhumans movie. I forget how many years down the road. You know what I mean? I don't know how that's going to work out, if they're actually going to do the Inhumans, or if it's just, I mean, you're probably a little bit more up on this, Jay. So what is the whole term Inhumans more of like a term like mutants? It's like a different type of being rather than it actually being a group, or
here's the way I see the Inhumans. They're not, you know how the mutants are born that way?
Yeah.
The Inhumans, most of them, they're not. They're made.
Okay.
So I think that's the difference.
Okay.
Between that, because like even in season 1, did you watch any of season 1 at all, or?
Of what?
Agents of Shield.
Yeah. I watched a majority of season 1.
Okay, so you remember the guy that they experimented on, and the black dude? I forgot his name.
Yeah, the one that was
right.
protecting his son, and his son died or whatever. And
then they had the guy from Asgard that had the pole, and then the two wackos that found it, and they became Inhumans because they were around that object and it changed them.
Okay.
So a lot of them are like that. I don't think I've come across one yet. Maybe I haven't. I just can't remember. That actually was like a mutant. That actually they were born that way. They weren't changed or anything. They were just, these are like normal folks. Some wacky thing happened to them, and that's how they.
And then they end up with some kind of powers. Right.
So Shield goes out and grabs them, trying to recruit them to put them a part of that Marvel
that group. And Immortal Joker is saying he's waiting to see where they stand when the Civil War erupts, which is actually true, because to some degree the show does tie into whatever the new cinematic universe storyline decides to do. So somewhere in there, I'm certain when, I guess, either Civil War, like right before Civil War drops or something like that, I'm sure they'll have an episode or two that'll tie into that somehow. Yeah. That'll change the storyline that they're doing on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So yeah, and it'll be interesting.
That's what happened to me when Thor Dark World came out.
Right. Yeah, they kind of brought, what's her name, Sif or whatever her name is. She came on the show.
They did another thing with Captain America, I think. Right, and then that's why I dropped off. I'm like, because they're like, well, don't watch. If you haven't seen Captain America, don't watch it because it's have things that it's referencing it, and you're gonna get kind of. And then after that, that's when I fell off the planet.
Well, actually, and that's the thing. That's what I think is going to be interesting about this next phase of all these Marvel movies, because if you think about it, right now DC is doing like their core, they're doing all their core superheroes and movies and stuff coming out this next year, right? So the whole Superman, Batman, and I mean they started filming Wonder Woman, and then they're going to be doing Justice League, and then an Aquaman. So they're doing a lot of their core Justice League characters and stuff now, and this is like their first go around. Whereas if you look flip side, Marvel, the whole thing that started off this whole superhero shebang-a-bang, all the core characters, Robert Downey Jr., Chris Hemsworth or Hemingway, I don't know his last name, Chris H. The guy that plays Thor, and Chris Evans, all three of them, they're like at the end of their contracts and they're all burnt out. So they're like, we're not doing any more movies. We'll come in and we'll do bit pieces here and there, but we're not doing any more Avengers or Iron Man or Thor movies after these last group, because they're all burnt out. And so if you look at the next group of movies that are coming out, a majority of these movies are all about characters that aren't really as popular in terms of just in terms of what the casual fan recognizes from comic books. You know what I mean? Like Black Panther, Captain Marvel, the Inhumans, more Guardians of the Galaxy, the Defenders, even, with the whole Netflix thing and all the TV shows, Jessica Jones and Luke Cage and Iron Fist, and, a lot of these characters, unless you're like a real diehard comic book fan, a lot of these characters, the general public doesn't know anything about. They don't even know. So it'll be interesting to see how this next phase goes, because we already saw how Ant-Man did. Ant-Man was, just god awful. It did not do very well in the theaters.
I didn't go see it. Did you actually go see it?
Hell no. I told you I wasn't going to go see that. I mean,
Wait, Ant-Man that just came out?
Yeah.
Ant-Man was pretty good. What are you talking about?
I wasn't going to go see it.
You saw it, McKean?
You saw it?
I saw it. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't, honestly, I really didn't want to go see it because I wasn't too interested in the character, and I don't like, what's his name? Paul Rudd. Is that his name? Paul Rudd?
I don't like him either, but it was a free movie, and
that's different. That's different. If it's free, I will watch it, but I wasn't going to go to the theater to see it, so that's what I'm waiting on, for it to be free on like Netflix or something like that. That's when I'll watch it.
Somebody else paid for my ticket.
Oh, dope!
I was like,
I need that friend, girl.
Yeah, right. So I was like, okay, I wasn't interested in Ant-Man either. Like, that's not really a character that, screams, oh my God, I gotta go see it. And already that I have like a sort of jaded view of comic book video games. Movies.
Yes.
And so I'm like, okay, maybe I'll go see because it's free, it's whatever. But I went there and I was like pleasantly surprised with the action sequences. Like, I'm not gonna say it's like the greatest movie ever, because otherwise I probably would you guys. But I totally didn't regret seeing it, so it was pretty good.
Okay, now that's actually very interesting to hear you say. So, and the thing is that even with that, if you think about it, even with it being a decent movie, it still really didn't perform that well numbers wise in the theaters, and it kind of goes back to that whole idea of now Marvel is in this new phase where they're trying to transition from all those super popular characters that started this whole movie cinematic universe deal, and go into new heroes that they're hopefully trying to either make into a new Avengers team, or just make into, hey, this is the next group of heroes that we're going to tell significant stories with. I mean, right now it kind of looks as if the only group that they have the potential of really having a sustainable fan base or whatever behind is like Guardians of the Galaxy, because of Chris Pratt. I could see them doing 3 movies or more movies with Chris Pratt as like the star, and it doing well in the theaters. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Just for the mere fact that, hey, it's got that, he's got that comedian timing in most everything that he does, so it'll keep it lighthearted, it'll keep it fun, and
I didn't think that movie was good.
I did. I loved it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot. I thought it was a great summer movie for casual comic book fans, for people that don't really know or don't necessarily really care about what the real story is going on in the movie.
Right.
Just action, some one-liners here and there, and stuff blows up. Action movie. And it worked. And of course, my kids were there. My kids loved it. So anytime the kids love it and I can go and see it and watch it and enjoy it with them, 2 thumbs up for BJ.
Yeah, I was kind of rolling my eyes that whole movie. I was like, oh, God.
Oh man,
God.
I had to go. I actually had to go 3 times to watch it because, yes, I watched it with one of my coworkers and his son the day it came out. And then I was like, oh, snap, my son's going to like this movie, so I have to take him. So they agreed to go with me to take him to see it again. And he brought his wife, so all 4 of us went and saw it. And then the 3rd time, we had to take my wife to see it, because she was like, hey, I want to see what this is all about. They're singing all these songs, and they thought it was lighthearted, so she watched it with us. And she was like, it's okay. She fell asleep.
Exactly.
I mean, she doesn't like any superhero movies. Period. She doesn't like fantasy movies, but she was like, all right.
it was for you serial optimists.
Yeah. Exactly.
Because
like me.
It was garbage. Like I had to try to stay awake in the beginning of the movie. Like it was sort of interesting.
All right, so Makita, let me get this into it.
The song was funny when he grabbed that little rap thing and started singing. Yo,
that was fun. I like it. But so Makita, let me ask you this: Has there ever been a comic book related movie that you've been into that you liked?
Of course. You know what? The Avengers was actually a pretty good comic book movie.
Okay.
I did like that. I enjoyed that very much.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta say mostly because of Todd Harrison or whatever.
Yes, he is awesome. I love him. They have got to do a Loki movie.
I love me some Loki.
Yeah, they just have to do Loki now. That's. I'm sorry. Keep going.
oh no, it's okay. Let's see. The first two Batman movies, not the Christian Bale ones, but I mean those were pretty.
Oh, good. As in Batman, Prince, and Jack Nicholson, and
exactly.
What's her name as Catwoman? She was so awesome. Michelle Pfeiffer. Yes. Oh my gosh, she was awesome.
To me, besides Eartha Kitt, she was.
Yes, she was the definitely.
She was awesome.
So Batman I kind of hold in its own little umbrella because it's kind of hard not to. Well, I won't say that. I'm definitely not going to say that now. Batman has had so many different iterations and been so big for so long. Just kind of outside of that.
Before I forget, Spider-Man, the one with Tobey Maguire, the very first one.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, I love that one
very much.
I love Toby.
No, he was actually. I thought, every year I get into it with my coworker. We get into a Batman and Superman fight, or we get into a Tobey Maguire fight. Like, he was whack as Peter Parker, and
I liked him as Peter Parker.
Peter Parker.
Yeah.
I think if anybody, if anybody,
because Jason's of the other mindset, he thinks Andrew Garfield was probably better and more and closer to the comic book.
This is why.
Because I know we had this debate before.
Well, here's the thing, like. Spider-Man in the comic book was more like Andrew Garfield. He wasn't like Tobey Maguire. I mean, he was nerdy, but he wasn't like he was a dick, like how Andrew Garfield was. Like he'd run around
making fun of him, talking jokes.
He'd be busting up. When he bust up the dudes, he was making mad fun of the dudes, and he was a dick. And then when you look at Tobey Maguire, he's like kind of short and stocky, and I'm like, Spider-Man ain't really like that.
I hate him, man.
I'm not. Spider-Man was really like Andrew Garfield had the look. Now, would I say Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man was better? Absolutely. Andrew Garfield, I don't know. He had the look and like some of the characteristics. He was a horrible Peter Parker.
Yeah, he didn't do Peter at all.
I think that's what killed that movie. And besides, like some of the other people that were bad actors, but I mean,
you have to explain that one. Who you talking about? Homie?
I'm gonna throw him under the bus, but he's my boy, Jamie Foxx. Sorry, son.
Oh, Jamie, booyah shot.
That's crazy.
You really thought he did that acting? Wow.
Well, in that movie, he didn't do very well. Yeah, in that movie, he did.
He's a good actor, but he kind of killed that movie.
You know what he kind of did? He kind of hammed it up so that it was kind of more like Batman and Robin. That movie, he kind of hammed it up. I think he was thinking that Spider-Man was trying to be Batman and Robin, the way that movie kind of came across. So I think that's where he kind of lost it, I guess. You know what I mean? I see what Jay is talking about, because he did kind of ham up his lines and stuff as you kind of watch the movie.
It was a little poor.
Yeah. I can see that, Jay. I can see that.
So I mean, the second one, the first one was okay, and they gave you a little bit of intrigue with the whole, his father had some secret past and stuff like that, and he was looking into it and all that, which I was trying to buy, and then in the second one they just blew it.
Right.
And that's what made it crappy. But like, I think Andrew Garfield, as far as Amazing Spider-Man, he kind of not fully got it down, but he was more of what I expected Spider-Man to be. I just thought Tobey Maguire was just too short. He was like 5'4". And he just didn't fit the bill. Spider-Man was tall. He was like 6'1" and slim.
Yeah.
You know.
There are little spiders too.
Yeah, they're little spiders.
That's true. They were cute.
Little spiders.
And I agree with you. The Tobey Maguire series was definitely like it was 100 times better.
Yeah, I liked it. I liked it. Now, I have to ask both of you guys. Now, we all know that they're getting ready to do yet another series of Spider-Man movies because for some reason they just.
Are they?
Yes, they are. Because they just can't get enough of spider putts. Just like Batman, they can't get enough of Batman. They're gonna do more Batman movies with Batfleck. So are you now? I don't know the kid who they have who they've cast as Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Are they doing the Spanish kid?
No, they're not doing him.
Oh, okay. I thought they were.
Yeah. Everybody was like, "Can we get Miles?" Thank you.
Yeah, they're not. They're not doing that.
Everybody and their mother. We were talking about on Facebook. The thread was like 300 comments long. I'm like, bro. I'm really hoping that they do Miles Morales because it'd be nice to see like a Black Black Hispanic Spider-Man that's like mad cool. I'm sick and tired of seeing like mostly main white characters. I'm sick and tired of origin stories with Peter Parker. That's what I'm
basically.
And
it's not happening.
So we're gonna do Peter Parker again, and I was like, oh.
Exactly.
So we're gonna go through this all over again. Like, haven't y'all had enough Peter Parker?
Nope.
Miles Morales is super popular for Spider-Man, though.
Yes, he is.
I thought they would probably try to go with something like that.
Nope. No, sir. Not happening. So it's interesting because I gotta look up the character because let's see, they have to of course bring another and of course my Microsoft Edge is crapping out on me, so I can't figure out who the little kid is.
Oh, you got Windows 10?
Yeah, it's busting out right now.
That browser needs a bit of work.
It needs a lot of work. It needs a lot of work. It's driving me crazy
right now because it's way slow. It's like almost Internet Explorer slow.
Yeah, I'm like, ugh. So I can't. One of you guys might have to look it up for me, but because actually I was trying to put a picture that has the logo for the game that I have up here now, which is 20XX, and we'll talk about that later. But yeah, I mean they had to reintroduce Spider-Man because he is too integral to the storyline in Civil War, so they had to get somebody to do it. Why they weren't able to work out the whole Andrew Garfield thing and let him continue it, because I think he was, I think he wanted to, he would have been up for it. He wasn't burnt out or anything, but they just decided, no, we're going to go with, I guess the kid is supposed to be a preteen, if not a teen or something like that, that's going to be playing Spider-Man now. He's going to be young, I think. Really young Spider-Man. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out in the movie, in the whole Civil War storyline. So we'll see what happens. That's coming up soon. What, next year? Is that next year?
I have no idea when that's coming up.
Yeah. I think it's next year, I want to say, because I think that's supposed to be around the same time frame in terms of competition for Batfleck versus short Superman. So we'll see how that goes. But yes, there's a lot going on. The superhero movie thing is definitely going on strong right now. It'll be interesting to see if some of the other publishers will be able to get, if they'll be able to get movie deals for some of their characters. Because I know I think I heard that there's talks about trying to do another Spawn movie. Let's see what's who else did they say they might do? I can't think of the others, but there's plenty of other superheroes out there that have decent popularity that could probably do well in the movie theater, but I can't think of any that were on the way or that were in talks or anything as of yet. Way to go, Microsoft Edge! Thank you. But
crash.
Yeah, exactly. Before we get off of the whole movie TV thing, I did kind of just want to put it out there. Fear the Walking Dead. Have either of you been watching that?
Yes, I fear it. I fear it because it
sucks. Yes. And I mean, and I know I don't even think Makita watches the other one. Do you, Makita?
What are you talking about?
Walking Dead. Do you watch it?
Are you kidding me? I'm a huge fan of The Walking Dead. I have like almost every single comic book.
Oh, okay. So you didn't take the Fear the Walking Dead plunge, right?
I did not take it. I did not take it because I'm afraid that it's gonna taint my view of The Walking Dead. Like, you know how you watch something, it's like, I'm turned off.
It's not gonna. It's so unrelated. But well, let me put it to you this way. And are you actually gonna try to watch it? Because I don't. Okay, so I don't want to spoil it or give you too many spoilers, so I won't do that. But I will talk about the way that the storyline goes. Okay. I think they really missed a great opportunity in the way that they portrayed this moment in the zombie apocalypse when it comes to the whole Walking Dead universe. You know what I mean? Because I mean, when you heard that they were going to do it, and you heard about the time frame that it's supposed to be like a quote unquote prequel, what were you expecting? And I'll ask this to Jason first, and then see what he said. What were you expecting to see that you thought would have been awesome, as a series for a prequel?
You know what? I thought basically it was. I don't know. I guess the point
you were just thinking more, more than what you saw, right?
Yeah, because I thought it was just going to be like, we all thought that, hey, it's going to be, how everything gets torn apart,
right,
and everything like that. And it's just, I think they're giving you that, but it's just not. I guess I had too much high hopes for it. It was less than what I expected.
Mm-hmm. So
and
from what you know,
it's just like it almost seems like the world is not involved enough. I don't know if that makes sense.
I guess
like it just seems like it's
too much of a bubble.
Yeah, it's just isolated to these set of people, and that's really it.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing past that. I mean, who cares about the mom and the kid having a crack habit or whatever the hell he's on? It's just, that's the shit. I'm just like, you know what, boo, and I kind of got turned off of that.
Yeah. What about you, Makita? What are you expecting in terms of when you watch the show, from what you've heard about
for it to be garbage?
No, not in terms of how good it is. I mean, in terms of like the plot. What are you expecting to see in terms of?
Well, here's the thing. I'm not expecting to see much. I'm kind of wondering why they even made this.
Mm-hmm.
I think they should have focused on the main show.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
they saw dollar signs and
yeah, it's a little weird.
Yeah.
It's a little weird for me, so I can't really say I expect much from it in general, or what
Mm-hmm.
I have like a gist of what it could possibly be about, and
Mm-hmm.
it's just, I don't know. I just feel like it's unnecessary.
Right. So let me give you my opinion real quick. I was stoked that they were doing it because, because of the time period that you're in The Walking Dead, you know, there's been so much that's happened, and really all you see is the aftermath. So when they said, hey, we're going to do a show and it's going to be about how, you know, just like the Roots album, things fall apart. You know, you're going to get to see all the things fall apart. So I was really excited because, you know, when you kind of like, you remember that part in, what was that one zombie movie, Dawn of the Living Dead or whatever, like at the beginning of that movie, how awesome the beginning of that movie was, where it was like, okay, you know, you start off, everything's normal, and then all of a sudden, over the course of like 5 minutes, everything goes to shit, just mad quick. And you're like, oh my God, this blows up. She runs into this, she runs into that. People tearing people out of buses, and everything's going bonkers all at once. And it's just frantic. It's just chaos, and it's action-packed. And you're like, this is awesome. This gets you in the mood for a zombie movie, right? In Dawn of the Living Dead. In my mind, when I heard that they were doing this, that's what I thought Fear the Walking Dead was going to be. I thought that it was going to be, you know, a limited short season where you start off, you know, the way it started off, kind of slow, and, you know, kind of building the characters, and then all of a sudden, as you go from each episode, I was expecting to see things falling apart quickly, and to be action upon action upon, oh my gosh, let's run, oh my gosh, what's he doing, why has he got bath salts eating people, what's going on, you know, all that other kind of stuff. I was I was ready, you know, I was ready for it. I was ready for it to just go to crap mad quick, and, you know, everybody running for their lives, and everybody not wanting, you know, having to escape and go here, and oh my gosh, look at all the, you know, zombies coming from, you know, the football game or something, you know, something weird like that, right? And it wasn't
Right,
that.
that's kind of what I
And
was
and
expecting
Makita,
to
you'll
happen.
see, I think around what was it, Jay? Maybe episode 3. I want to say episode 3 was like the episode where I felt like they had the biggest opportunity for this show to get great. And instead of it getting great, it went, you know,
Wow.
it just went to the point where you were just like, oh my gosh, really? Can they like eat somebody now or do something? You know what I mean? That's kind of where that third episode, I think, is where they missed a great opportunity in terms of the storyline to do something good or something exciting, not necessarily story-wise, but do something to spruce up the show, to make it exciting and really put everybody on the show into some ish mad quick. But they chose to go a different route, and you'll see that. I think it's around episode 3 or so. I want to say 3, maybe 4. I can't remember. So when you watch it, you'll see that. And like Jay said, it's not that the show is bad per se, because the acting is still good. The characters, they still have good characters. You know, they're deep.
Yeah, that was pretty decent.
But, you know, it's just the plot of it. It almost feels to me as if I want it to do more than it's doing. It's doing stuff, you know, there's some intrigue in there. There's not any WTF moments so far. It's just, you know, there's like, oh, okay, that's a little twist here. You know, there's no big, huge, massive twists. Right. You know, like they do in Walking Dead, where you're like, oh snap, hurry up next week. I need to see what happens. You know, there's not really much of that. So
right, nobody cares.
Right. Nobody really cares. And a part of me is wondering, okay, have they waited too long to have that moment in this show? Because in my mind, hey, they started off with like the biggest premiere, you know, numbers for a show since, hey, The Walking Dead. But ever since that episode, I don't remember them saying anything about the viewership for this show. You know what I mean? I think they kind of lost their viewership from episode to episode in terms of the numbers that they're getting for the show, because it's going so slow. In my mind, you know, I can't confirm that because I haven't, like I said, I haven't heard anything about numbers since that very first show. So I'd be curious to see, okay, is this limited engagement going to be just that, where this 6th or last episode is it? Or did they actually have a plan where they're going to be like, yo, this first half of the season, yeah, it may be slow, but we're really gonna, drop a nuclear bomb on you guys on the last episode, and then, the next half of the season is just gonna be all balls out, and you're gonna love it. That, and I guess once again, Makita, that must be the optimist in me, because I'm still watching the show, even though I'm not necessarily enjoying it. I'm still watching the show, hoping that they will, ratchet up the gore or ratchet up something so it'll be a bit more enjoyable. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how many other people share the same. My wife has already stopped watching it. She loves The Walking Dead, and she already said after last episode that she wasn't going to watch the show anymore.
Nah, baby, I'm not going to be able to do it.
She was like, nope. She was like, nope, you guys have...
I'm not going to be able to do it.
She was like, you guys lost your opportunity of pulling me in. She was like, I was hyped for it too, but nope, can't do it anymore. So, I think there's a lot of people like that at this point. So, I don't know. Fear the Walking Dead. Do something. Kill something. Kill somebody.
Yeah, somebody.
Yeah, they got to do something. I mean, they got a good cast. I saw a girl from Orange Is the New Black. She's in there as a regular character. I can't remember her name, but she's like one of the Latina characters that was in Orange Is the New Black. She's got a regular spot in the show. It was cool to see that.
Oh my god, I forgot her name. I know you're talking
about. Unfortunately I don't know any of the real names of the actresses in that show. I love that show though. But yeah, I was happy to see her in the show. She's been doing a good job also. But yes, Fear the Walking Dead. Wah, wah, wah. I put that in the same category as Dear God right now. But yes, and unfortunately I can't see the agenda right now because again, freaking Edge is like crapping the bed on me right now, so I might need somebody to take a look at the agenda. We were gonna talk games here, people. Game of games. Thicket Nation, you have been, and I have been also, but we've been digging into some basketballio, some NBA 2K.
Yes, I have. I've been NBAing my ass off. I'm actually NBAing right now. Trying to do a little my team, and I just got jerked on my picks, man. The best
Who'd you
I
get?
got is Robin Lopez, son. That's my best dude.
Robin Lopez. I'm playing. Your team sucks.
Dude, it does suck, dude. I don't even know the guys on my squad yet. I'm playing right
okay,
now.
let me ask you. Who are your starters? Tell me who your starters are.
Dude, I don't know.
You haven't even done the roster yet?
Yeah, I got the roster. I just don't know who the other guys are. And I'm pretty versed in basketball. And right now I'm playing my team, right? And this dude, he got freaking John Wall, Kevin Durant. I can't even laugh, man. It's just like, and I got Robin Lopez
as your best as your best baller.
Yo, he's kicking my ass.
Oh man, yeah. I was actually when I did mine, I was fortunate enough to at least get Kobe when I got mine.
Dude, they gave me nobody. So like, I'm over here getting lumped up.
So you didn't get a gold, your little pre-order bonus, your gold player or whatever. You didn't get a gold.